In the vast reaches of the galaxy, a brutal and terrifying species known as the Galactic Deathworlders reign supreme. These creatures evolved on some of the harshest, most unforgiving planets imaginable, worlds where survival demanded relentless ferocity and unmatched strength. Their homeworlds are filled with poisonous atmospheres, savage predators, and environmental hazards that would crush most life forms in moments. Yet the Deathworlders not only survived but thrived, developing a warrior culture that celebrates raw power, violence, and dominance. The Deathworlders are large, heavily armored, and terrifying in appearance. Their biology is a testament to millennia of brutal natural selection. They possess thick hides resistant to energy weapons, claws that can rend starship hulls, and regenerative abilities that make them incredibly hard to kill. Their society values strength above all else. Only the strongest can lead, only the strongest survive. Across the galaxy, other species whisper fearful rumors of the Deathworlders, referring to them as the apex predators of the cosmos, the ultimate hunters and warriors. In their arrogance, the Deathworlders look down on almost every other intelligent species as weak, fragile, or unworthy of serious challenge. They particularly dismiss humanity as primitive, simple mammals clinging to a backwater solar system. To the Deathworlders, humans are a curiosity at best, a resource to be conquered and exploited at worst. Their records show humans living on a single temperate planet with no known exceptional technology or power. The Deathworlders plan to conquer Earth swiftly and decisively, expecting a straightforward victory. But there is more to humanity than the Deathworlders realize. Human beings evolved on Earth, a planet many would call a Deathworld itself, though far different from the brutal homeworlds of the Deathworlders. Earth's challenges are varied: shifting climates, deadly predators, diseases, and environmental extremes. Over millions of years, humanity developed an unmatched adaptability. They learned to survive and thrive in deserts, tundras, dense jungles, and even radioactive wastelands. Humanity's true strength lies not in raw power but in resilience, intelligence, cooperation, and an instinctive drive to overcome impossible odds. The story opens with glimpses of humanity surviving on these harsh frontiers, small groups of hardened survivors making do in inhospitable regions, utilizing every available resource, turning even the deadliest environments to their advantage. This resilient spirit is invisible to the Deathworlders' initial assessment, but forms the core of human survival. Meanwhile, the Deathworlders prepare their fleet for the conquest of Earth. Their warships loom ominously in orbit, bristling with weapons designed to obliterate entire cities in seconds. Their commanders speak with contempt about the weak humans, confident their apex predator status will prevail. This confidence blinds them to the true nature of their target. The narrative contrasts the Deathworlders' arrogance with subtle hints of humanity's underestimated power. Humans, though technologically inferior in some respects, have secrets, hidden technologies, battle-hardened warriors, and strategies forged in the fires of their harsh world. Earth's defenders prepare quietly, readying to surprise the invaders, with tactics that defy Deathworlder expectations. By the end of Part 1, the stage is set. The Deathworlders believe themselves unchallenged apex predators, about to add Earth to their growing empire. Humanity, however, stands quietly but resolutely, ready to shatter this illusion. The final scene of this part closes on the approaching Deathworlder warships, their sensors scanning for weakness, unaware that they are about to face an enemy far deadlier than any they have encountered. This opening chapter not only establishes the hostile and unforgiving nature of the Galactic Deathworlders, but also introduces the core HFY theme. Humanity's indomitable spirit and unique strengths will prove they are the true apex species in the galaxy, overturning arrogant assumptions and changing the course of galactic history forever. The Galactic Deathworlders, confident in their superior strength and battle experience, make their first direct move against humanity, launching a massive assault on Earth. Their warships darken the skies and their ground forces begin invading with overwhelming force. The Deathworlders expect this to be a quick and decisive conquest, a mere formality before they claim Earth as part of their expanding empire. However, from the moment the Deathworlders set foot on human soil, it becomes painfully clear that they have vastly underestimated their prey. Humans do not respond like other species the Deathworlders have crushed before. Instead of fleeing or surrendering, human defenders employ brutal, unconventional tactics born from centuries of survival on a planet that is itself a natural death world. Guerrilla warfare becomes the key to humanity's resistance. Small squads of highly trained soldiers utilize the terrain masterfully. Urban ruins, dense forests, underground tunnel systems, and even radioactive wastelands serve as deadly traps for the invaders. Human soldiers adapt quickly, turning abandoned industrial complexes into fortresses and deploying improvised weapons that disrupt the Deathworlders' heavily armored units. Beyond technology and tactics, humanity's resilience becomes glaringly apparent. Despite facing a species designed by evolution to kill with brutal efficiency, humans endure injuries and hardships that would incapacitate or kill most alien soldiers. They fight with an unyielding tenacity, fueled by a fierce determination. To defend their homes and families, psychological warfare is also a vital tool. Humans use misinformation, ambushes, and night raids that sow confusion and fear among Deathworlder ranks. Amid these battles, glimpses of humanity's secret edge emerge. Humans have developed bioengineered enhancements and chemical agents that can weaken or disrupt the Deathworlders' regenerative abilities and armored hides. Their technology may not match the sheer destructive power of Deathworlder weaponry, but it is cleverly tailored for maximum effect in Earth's diverse and hostile environments. As Deathworlder casualties mount, the arrogance and confidence that once defined them begin to falter. Their commanders find themselves scrambling to adjust strategies to a foe that refuses to be crushed by brute force alone. Internal dissent grows among the Deathworlder ranks, as some begin questioning their assumption that humans are weak. On the human side, leadership rises from the chaos. A newly formed coalition of military commanders, scientists, and survival experts orchestrates the defense with precision and creativity. Their goal is not just survival, but to send a clear message. To the galaxy, humanity will not be an easy conquest. Propaganda and broadcasts begin to rally human populations worldwide, inspiring civilians to take up arms or aid the war effort in countless ways. While the Deathworlders regroup and reinforce, humanity strikes back with hit-and-run attacks on supply lines, orbital platforms, and key command centers. The once clear battlefield becomes a chaotic and deadly game of cat and mouse. Every victory for humanity chips away at the Deathworlders' reputation of invincibility. The first contact phase ends with the Deathworlders withdrawing temporarily from some contested regions, shocked and enraged by their unexpected losses. Their leaders convene in secret to reconsider their strategy, realizing for the first time that humanity might be far more dangerous than any previous opponent. This part of the story drives home the HFY theme by illustrating how humanity's underestimated adaptability, innovation, and indomitable spirit turn the tables on a superior enemy. It emphasizes that strength is not just about physical power, but the ability to endure, adapt, and outthink a foe. As the war between humanity and the galactic Deathworlders intensifies, the true depth of human capability begins to emerge. The Deathworlders, initially baffled by humanity's resilience and tactics, are now forced to confront a much more dangerous opponent, one that does not rely on sheer brute force alone but combines ingenuity, adaptability, and ruthless determination. This part delves deeper into the human side of the conflict. Earth is not merely a battleground, it is the crucible where humanity's unique strengths have been forged over millions of years. Humans evolved on a planet with wildly varying environments, scorching deserts, icy tundras, toxic swamps, and dense jungles, forcing them to become masters of survival and innovation. These experiences shaped their biology and culture alike, making them unpredictable and extraordinarily resilient. Human soldiers now employ specialized units bred and trained for specific harsh environments, each unit optimized for guerrilla warfare in conditions that would break ordinary armies. These Deathworld warriors are enhanced with genetic modifications, adaptive nanotechnology, and cutting-edge biochemical augmentations that increase endurance, speed, and healing capabilities. Their weapons are equally innovative, combining Earth's traditional ingenuity with alien tech, scavenged from previous conflicts, and reverse-engineered for maximum effectiveness. A key element introduced here is a charismatic and strategic human leader, a commander who embodies humanity's fighting spirit and tactical brilliance. This character has a personal vendetta against the Deathworlders, perhaps due to a lost family or a ruined homeland, which fuels their determination. Under this leader's guidance, humanity's resistance shifts from desperate defense to bold, calculated offense. The humans take the fight beyond their home planet, launching targeted strikes against the Deathworlders' supply chains and outposts on neighboring star systems. These raids disrupt the Deathworlders' logistics and sow panic in their ranks. Unlike the Deathworlders, who rely heavily on overwhelming physical strength and intimidation, humans combine high-tech sabotage, stealth operations, and precise strikes to dismantle their enemies piece by piece. Meanwhile, the Deathworlders' allies and other species in the galaxy start to observe the conflict with growing interest and concern. Whispers of humanity's growing power and the Deathworlders' unexpected setbacks begin to spread. Some alien species, long oppressed or fearful of the Deathworlders, quietly offer limited support to humanity, sensing a shift in galactic power dynamics. The narrative also explores the psychological impact of the war on the Deathworlders. Their confidence begins to erode as they grapple with the fact that humanity is not only surviving, but also thriving under conditions that should have crushed them. The Deathworlders, once revered as unstoppable apex predators, are forced to acknowledge that humans possess qualities that defy their brutal worldview: intelligence, creativity, cooperation, and an almost fanatical will to survive. Part 3 builds momentum toward a larger confrontation, showing how humanity's hidden edge, their unique blend of biology, technology, and unbreakable spirit, turns the tide. The story emphasizes that true strength in this galaxy is not just about raw power, but the ability to adapt, innovate, and endure against all odds. As this section closes, humanity's reputation as a fearsome and cunning adversary is firmly established, setting the stage for the escalating conflict in the following parts. The war between humanity and the galactic Deathworlders reaches a new and devastating intensity as battles spread across multiple star systems. No longer confined to Earth's surface or nearby space, the conflict becomes a brutal galactic war where strategy, technology, and raw willpower collide in a deadly apex clash. The galactic Deathworlders unleash their most feared warriors and monstrous beasts, genetically engineered predators bred for one purpose: to annihilate enemies and instill terror. These living weapons roam battlefields with terrifying ferocity, designed to crush human forces through sheer physical dominance. However, the humans refuse to be cowed. They counter these horrors with precision tactics, advanced weaponry, and unyielding determination. Guerrilla units strike from unexpected angles, ambush the beasts, and exploit their vulnerabilities using scientific ingenuity. Battles rage on barren death worlds, shattered moons, and ruined space stations. The environments themselves become weapons. Avalanches, acid storms, and seismic upheavals are triggered strategically to disrupt enemy formations. Human commanders, fueled by a fierce desire to protect their species, lead frontline charges and orchestrate complex maneuvers that leave Deathworlder forces reeling. Amidst the chaos, personal stories of heroism and sacrifice emerge. Human soldiers, hardened by years of survival on Earth's brutal frontiers, become legends. One such tale follows a squad that holds a critical position against overwhelming odds, buying precious time for reinforcements. Another recounts a human warrior who faces down a Deathworlder warlord in a one-on-one duel, combining skill, wit, and raw tenacity to win. The Deathworlders, however, refuse to concede. Their culture of strength and dominance drives them to escalate the conflict with increasingly ruthless tactics, deploying larger armies and more devastating weapons. Yet with each escalation, their arrogance blinds them to humanity's growing unity and cooperation with other galactic species who have rallied to their cause. Humanity's alliances bring new resources and knowledge, further shifting the balance of power. The story highlights the contrast between the Deathworlders' brutal individualism and humanity's collective effort, showcasing how cooperation and ingenuity can overcome raw strength. As the war intensifies, cracks appear in the Deathworlders' once indomitable image. Their losses mount, morale falters, and internal disputes erupt over how to respond to this unprecedented challenge. Some factions advocate for diplomacy or retreat, but pride and tradition compel the Deathworlders to fight on, desperate to maintain their title as apex predators. Part 4 culminates in a cliffhanger. A daring human strike captures or kills a prominent Deathworlder warlord, shaking the enemy's leadership and signaling a major turning point in the war. The victory is bittersweet, highlighting both the cost of conflict and the resilience of humanity's fighting spirit. This section underscores the HFY theme by portraying humanity not just as survivors, but as apex predators in their own right. Creatures of resilience, intelligence, and heart who redefine what it means to be dominant in a brutal galaxy. After years of brutal conflict, the tide of war finally begins to turn. Humanity, once underestimated and dismissed as weak, now stands at the forefront of a galaxy-wide struggle, proving that true power is more than just physical might. This chapter explores how human strategy, resilience, and unity start to overwhelm the galactic Deathworlders' once dominant forces, changing the trajectory of the war. The previous battles have battered both sides, but the Deathworlders, whose culture is steeped in pride and a code of survival by strength, face a crisis of confidence. Their warlords and commanders are shaken by repeated failures against a foe they believed inferior. Meanwhile, human forces, bolstered by alliances with other galactic species who recognize humanity's rising power, seize this moment to launch coordinated counterattacks. Humanity's military leadership unveils innovative tactics that leverage combined arms warfare, integrating ground forces, space fleets, and guerrilla fighters with unprecedented coordination. This unified approach catches the Deathworlders off guard, disrupting their traditional reliance on overwhelming brute force and individual prowess. Human soldiers fight with unyielding determination, their spirit fueled by the memory of fallen comrades and the desire to protect their homeworlds. Meanwhile, scientists and engineers behind the scenes accelerate the development of new technologies, blending alien tech with Earth's own innovations. These breakthroughs enhance weaponry, defensive systems, and even cyber warfare capabilities, allowing humans to hack and disrupt Deathworlder communications and command networks. The psychological impact of these strikes sows chaos among Deathworlder ranks, eroding morale. Humanity also begins reclaiming lost territories, pushing the Deathworlders back from key planets and strategic systems. Each victory strengthens human resolve and encourages more galactic species to join their cause, forming a growing coalition united by the need to resist the Deathworlders' brutal expansion. Amid the strategic victories, the narrative delves into the personal stories of heroes emerging from the conflict, leaders who inspire troops through courage and sacrifice, spies who infiltrate enemy lines, and scientists racing against time to unlock critical breakthroughs. One pivotal subplot follows a human commander who orchestrates a daring operation to liberate a heavily fortified Deathworlder stronghold, turning the tide in a crucial sector of space. The Deathworlders, faced with mounting losses and fracturing alliances, respond with desperation. They unleash devastating countermeasures, including bioengineered monstrosities and doomsday weapons designed to turn entire star systems into wastelands. But even these horrors fail to crush the human spirit, which adapts and fights on with relentless tenacity. This part also explores the evolving relationship between humanity and the other galactic species. United by a shared cause, they begin to dismantle the centuries-old fear and prejudice that kept them divided. Humanity's fierce independence and innovative mindset earn both respect and admiration, further solidifying their role as a rising galactic power. As Part 5 closes, the Deathworlders' hold on the galaxy weakens significantly. Their image as unbeatable apex predators is irreparably damaged, while humanity's reputation as a cunning and unyielding force grows. The chapter sets the stage for the final, decisive confrontations, where the fate of the galaxy itself hangs in the balance. The final chapter of the galactic conflict between humanity and the Deathworlders culminates in a series of decisive battles that will determine the fate of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy. After enduring years of brutal warfare, humanity has proven beyond doubt that they are not merely survivors. They are apex predators in their own right. As the Deathworlders face their last stand, their forces are fragmented and demoralized. Key warlords have fallen, and their once unstoppable armies are shattered by coordinated strikes led by human commanders. These battles are fierce and costly, but human ingenuity, resilience, and unity continue to overwhelm the Deathworlders. Raw power and pride. In this phase, humanity's alliances across the galaxy play a crucial role. Former enemies and wary allies unite under a common banner to ensure the Deathworlders can never regain their former dominance. These alliances bring a wealth of knowledge, technology, and strategic support, turning what was once a desperate resistance into a powerful coalition capable of reshaping the galactic order. The story zooms in on pivotal moments, daring assaults, on Deathworlder command centers, sabotage of their supply chains, and last-ditch efforts to unleash catastrophic weapons that are ultimately thwarted. Human soldiers, enhanced by both technology and unbreakable will, face impossible odds but continue to push forward. The climax is marked by a final confrontation between humanity's greatest leaders and the Deathworlders' remaining elite champions. This battle is not just physical but symbolic, a contest of wills, strategy, and survival instincts. The victory is hard-won, cementing humanity's place as a dominant galactic force and shattering the myth of the Deathworlders as apex predators. In Taikin, the aftermath, humanity does not become conquerors but leaders and protectors. They establish new coalitions and governance structures focused on cooperation and mutual respect among galactic civilizations. The legacy of the war reshapes political and social dynamics, with humanity at the forefront of a new era of galactic diplomacy and exploration. The narrative also reflects on the cost of war, the lives lost, the world scarred, and the lingering tensions. Yet, it ends with hope. Humanity's spirit has proven that survival is not enough. They thrive by adapting, innovating, and forging alliances beyond species and planets. This final part reinforces the core HFY theme, that humanity's strength lies not only in physical prowess but in creativity, resilience, unity, and the relentless will to endure and protect what they hold dear. Humanity's ascension is both a victory and a promise that no matter the challenges, they will continue to rise and redefine what it means to be apex predators in a vast, unforgiving galaxy.